Oh man.
Oh, I can just cut this part out. All right, what's up, everybody? We're back for our second episode of the Maroon Link Up. We're gonna have analysis, real talk, and all dogs. Tonight we're debating. So I'm gonna just give y'all kind of our first topics. So we're gonna be talking about Kelley Jones. Was he snubbed on the All-SEC team? Our impact newcomers on offense. Our impact newcomers on defense. Reffing with Reggie, and then he's going to come on to kind of explain some of the new rules in college football. And this is a segment I hope we can have throughout the season. So if there's a controversial call or anything like that, we can be hitting up Reggie, and he can let us know what those rules mean. And how does 5 for 5 affect state? All right, Top Dog, tell me, how are you doing today?
All right, I'm doing fine, man. Hey, it's almost the end of the week. One of the best days of the week is coming tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Time to enjoy our time together and talk about dogs. How you doing this week, man? What you have?
How's your first week with a real job doing? I got to go back next week. How's your first day with a real job treating you?
Well, man, it wasn't too bad, man. I had to get back used to having a schedule, man. Right now, everything just torn off. You know, I was permanently on the couch for a minute. Now I'm back in the workforce again after I told myself I wasn't going back to work.
I'm trying to edit our thing right now. Where it just, I don't know why it's not doing it. Where it can show, where everybody can check out the thing. For some reason, it's not doing it. Can change the post on it. All right, we can get started. All right, so I'm gonna go run down a few of Kelley Jones' stats. So guys, we're still working through some of the technical difficulties, so we'll kind of look at some of his stuff. All right, so before we get into the topic about was he snubbed, let's look at some of the things that Kelley Jones did this past season. 13 games started, 34 total tackles, 20 solo tackles, pass breakups, 2 interceptions. And this is probably one of the topics we're going to get into. He only had 2 interceptions, and then he was 13 All-SEC, first team All-SEC, 14 All-SEC field steal coaches. And then his overall stats, the big one I want everybody kind of to pay attention to is his completion percentage allowed. He had one of the highest grades, and he was a guy that many thought could potentially be a first round, early second round guy last year. All right, so Top Dog, tell me, what do you think? Do you think Kelley Jones got a snub as far as being on the All-SEC first team?
Of course. I mean, he was the number 2 cornerback in the SEC last year, right? But here's the thing, man. The media is always going to, and personnel is always going to, and other coaches and all these other different websites is not going to judge the player by his correct positioning and where he should and should be, because they're going off what this team's success was, right? They don't go off individual success when they go through that. So what was his impact, right? He was the key for us on majority of those games. He was a key defensive player that we had. He was the defense, because if you take into account, Isaac Smith missed a lot of games due to injuries, right? And he had to soak up the brunt of the defense, because guess what? We couldn't stop Cole last year up front. and that was period. You know what I'm saying? And he was locked down. He had to go with that number 1 receiver most of the time. If you stay away from him, his impact is going to be limited. You know what I mean? And he ain't going to be able to show off his skills as much. But is that a snub on him, or is that a snub on the team? Is what I'm asking.
And I'll piggyback off that and say, I'm trying to find a way to share this stuff right now. I'll say that I think it's more on the team. For a minute, I don't know exactly when they voted on all this stuff, but there was a piece of me that was wondering if it had a little bit to do with the whole little video thing. Because, he was the biggest star player in the whole little Quiet on the Creek and all that. It crossed my mind. Yeah, I think it's people trying to downgrade him just based off of that, and I'm just I hope that ain't play a part in it, but but I think the bigger thing is we can get into like the cornerback position. I think when it comes to that position, a lot of people they look at that stat of interceptions. We had a cornerback a couple years ago, probably wasn't actually was just as good, probably Martin Emerson, but a different style of corner. He didn't get a lot of interceptions, But people are not going to look at advanced analytics and look, hey, this guy's only allows 28% on his side. They don't realize how good that is, or that no one throws your way. So when no one throws your way, you're not going to have no more than an interception or two. And what I kind of thought about as I kind of was looking at this, as far as Kelley Jones, of course, he's 6'4". He's not even the modern prototype. You don't see corners that big. Most times, at the most, they're 6'2".
Right.
But I think you think of, let's say, like a Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders was a guy, he didn't get a lot of interceptions. Now, we remember a lot of them, but because when he got them, he either took it to the house or he did a lot with it. But when I went back and looked at a lot of his old highlights, even in early days in Atlanta, they would like throw the ball to him. Like if he got they got a fumble or anything, they'd be tossing the ball to him sometimes. So we got a chance to see a lot of those splash plays. He returned kicks. He returned punts. You know, he didn't do them all the time, but, you know, we remember these moments. So we're like, hey, man, that's a great corner because he had all these other superlatives and other stats. But a Kelley Jones, he's out there covering people.
Right.
And the point you made was a good one. Like these other guys that are on this list, they're going to Alabama, these bigger schools that have a lot more in front of them. So in some respects, it's a lot easier for them to cover people because they ain't got to worry about covering a guy for 5, 6, 7 seconds. It's a lot harder as opposed to them teams where they getting pressure right away up front, and then that guy don't have to cover for 3 seconds.
Right, exactly.
And quarterback is making quick decisions, so he got to cover when he's getting no pressure up front. We have no linebackers, no anybody getting pressure up front. So to be snubbed is kind of like, I mean, it is what it is in this situation where I think he's just gonna have to go prove it on the field.
Right.
And I think that's how you solve those type of issues. You just go solve it on the field. So I think he'll be able to do that. But the answer of whether he was snubbed or not, I think so.
Of course he was snubbed, man. Hey, listen, they always gonna bet against Mississippi State, but why not this? But why not downgrade the team that you in? We ain't did nothing in 3 years. We ain't did nothing. No, longer than that. Maybe we ain't did nothing since 2022.
Yeah, we haven't earned that.
So we got to earn our way back up that chain when it comes to the defense. Because, us as Mississippi State Bulldogs, we known for hard-nosed defense, and we just ain't had that in a long time.
Well, and I think that's the thing, too. Like, like you said, we hadn't earned it. And I think we're a lot of fans where we're like, we got to earn our. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, like a lot of fans, I mean, of course they're fans and they think a certain way about things. And like you got to realize where we're at. We haven't been very good the last couple of years, whether it's under Arnett and under Levy. We've been pretty bad for a couple of years. And we're on a pretty good run. I mean, Mullen really deserves his flowers. I think we only had one bad season under him. And so we're on a nice little run. Then Maury came in. I mean, he had raised the expectations so much that people fired Moorhead because we weren't at the level that we were when Mullen was here. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, when Mississippi State get on this mess? Right. I mean, I get it. I mean, I ain't saying I ain't downgrading our own program, but it's kind of like, man, we fire people for doing stuff because they ain't living up to what standard?
Yeah, what standard?
Like, what standard are we saying that he didn't live up to? It's kind of weird. So it's kind of like when it came to Moorhead, but just based off some of the things I've heard from guys that played and things like that, it kind of makes sense based on what they've said. So, it is kind of criminal that we fumbled the literal bag with Montez Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons. You had Jonathan Abrams, probably one of the best groups you probably ever going to have. Right. And I forgot some of the other guys that we had at the time, but like there was some other players on that defense too. So it's kind of like you had some elite players. This one time, actual elite players, first round guys who are still balling in the league, and you didn't do nothing with it. You come in trying to turn Nick Fitzgerald into something not. You go in and you essentially bench Aries Williams for what reason? You play running back. You don't even have to do all that. So I think that's where a lot of that kind of comes into play, where he made that mistake. But yeah, that's the one fans got to realize we got to kind of like earn it back,
right,
and be like a team that people kind of like take serious again. But right now, we're just not that team, and I think our fans got to accept it. They got to but this year I think we do have hope. I mean, I know Camario had said he was a symbol of hope for some of the younger kids and stuff like that, but I think he's a symbol of hope for the Mississippi State fans because he kind of gives you that guy that you kind of can build around.
Right.
How long that will be, that's something maybe we can touch on in a minute. All right, so let's move on. So we're talking about defense with Kelley Jones. But let's get to some of our key impact offensive guys. So it's almost like the same thing. I remember me and Tavares have talked off air for years, and then when I know his dad is an alumni, he don't be knowing who be on the team. Click the wrong one. My bad. Oh, I see what happened. I didn't remove that one, but I got that one. Okay, that's what happened. All right. So one of the things is it is kind of almost like the Charles Barkley thing, like who he played for, because I've been wondering like who these dudes be.
Right.
You know, so because there's so many for a couple years, I kind of just got lost. I'm like, man, I don't know none of these guys. So you can't even really call them, and you really can't call them freshmen anymore because now they have the 5-for-5 we're going to get into. But you got to pay attention to all newcomers. You're getting 20 and 30 transfers coming in as opposed to before it was. And one thing you knew who the thing is with transfers, you kind of almost waiting for them to get on the field for like a year, unless they were like a grad transfer or coming from JUCO. But most time it be guys, you only got a couple. Maybe they'll make an impact, and even then, sometimes you won't have any at all. So now you got to call them newcomers. You can't even look at it like you freshmen, whatever. So we're gonna talk a little bit about some of the newcomers and the potential impact to Mississippi State. So yeah, Marquise Williams, who's a receiver. I think he came from Missouri.
Marquise Johnson.
Marquise Johnson. Okay. Yeah. Riley Williams, tight end. I want to say he came from Oregon State. Yeah. DJ Chester, he came from LSU. LJ Prudhomme, he came from Arkansas. He's going to be starting as a freshman, and then Zion Ravens. And all those guys are potentially at least 3 of them are starters. And then you got a couple guys that are going to be in the rotation. So especially with the type of offense we run, and then as true freshmen, I'm not sure all of them are going to play. But here's the thing: now you don't have to operate under the same assumption, because before guys, if they were red shirts, they kind of like, they kind of like. They decide they just want to chill out their year. But now that you don't have to red shirt, like there's no real reason for a coach to sit a guy.
Right. Exactly.
And so that's where this is going to come. You got J.J. Hill, running back, Cooper Crosby, running back. And I'm sure they want to get on the field because we got 2 coming in that are 4-star, I think. So they're going to try to play them boys. They're going to try to get in there. Jaden Creation, freshman, I don't know where he's probably going to be on the depth chart. Xavier Cotton, and then Zion Crumpton. So just talk a little bit about some of the guys. Who do you think is going to make the biggest impact out of all those guys?
Well, the ones I want to see make a big impact, the ones I know that's going to make a big impact. I'm going with Chester, right? After watching some of these games, and I've been looking at them almost every night, and our biggest problem was our front line. For him to be a grad transfer, a senior guy, he got some experience in playing in some of the biggest games in, the SEC. Yeah, we had big games on the schedule these last few seasons, but we ain't have nothing in this capacity that we're going to play this year. Competition that we're going to go on, and we're going to need that leadership to help us get through some of that, especially that four game stretch in the middle of September and the end of in the beginning of October. That's one of my guys I think gonna play a key role. And Marquise Johnson, right? He got experience. He showed his tail up there at Missouri, but it was overshadowed by the guy that left state. I don't like to call people names and give them flowers that was at state and left and went and did other things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking he's going to fill that role that Brandon Thompson left for us, right? And we need that experience to help out with Evans. So those are my 2 guys right now that I know that's going to play a big impact for us. The other guys, I just want to wait and see.
So I'll say like the guy that I think really, of course, like you said, I got to see bigger impact. Probably the offensive line first. I think that's imperative. Like when you allow 45 sacks, you got to move the quarterback back there. Don't mean he got to be running for his life. Give him a little time too, so he actually can throw the ball and not have to run the ball all the time. So it isn't just DJ Chester and Prudhomme. As I look at, I always like to look at our lads. You look at it, you got. As you're looking at his guy, Jaheim, I think, no, he was transferred. Got Tyler Mitter, Mario Naz, Miles McVay. So you got like a couple, then some other ones coming in. Like we got a bunch of transfer linemen. So they kind of redid the offensive line with freshmen and some older guys. So you really need some of them guys to really step up where you can have some depth there. Having Camario is going to make up for it. And truth be told, we're a vertical offense, so we need to be able to give our quarterbacks time.
Right.
So I think that's the thing, having some linemen that can block. But overall, I think the guy that's going to probably make the most immediate impact is going to be Marcus Johnson. And I think the reason why is because we kind of got a blueprint for what we want to do. I mean, just do everything Brendan Thompson did. I think that my only pause for that receiver in this offense is the kind of plug and play. They're like, oh, he like fast guys. I'm like, you get these 5'8", 5'9" receivers. They can run these 4.3s, but I think it's almost going to kind of be like Leach air raid offense. You're getting these quarterbacks, the real Rodgers types, these guys that, Leach had for years. Like, how good are these guys? You can plug and play in your system, so that will work at a Mississippi State. So when you got to break the bank for some elite guy, so that spot, that guy, what that role entails. You know what they're going to be able to do. So at the same time, so I think it'll be easier for him just to step in. Will he be as good as Brendan Thompson? Who knows?
I don't know.
But so you don't know that, but he can step into that role and you know what to do with them because you did it last year. They're about the same size. They both were fast. Both seniors. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but so you're going to be able to do something with him. And then, of course, Zion Reagans, it's the same thing. Like, you got a bunch of guys on the field, they're interchangeable. That creates depth because you can just be able to throw them guys in there and they can produce. So I think that's the thing with our overall offense. And then also, we were just talking about newcomers. This kid, Zayon Cotton, I mean, he may not start, but the one thing that our offense lacked last year was red zone. Our red zone was one of the worst in the nation. You got little receivers, you got a quarterback that can't run. We were doing okay with fluff ball, but your red zone offense can't be an eye back that just can run the ball. They just gonna load up on you. So when we get inside the red zone, we were kind of useless. So we need like that 6'5" tight end, this kid. Like I said, they don't have to redshirt him no more. So this a kid, you go ahead and just get him ready. He may be a guy. You can get him in the package. Yeah. You can split him out wide. And I think he's that type of talent. And then also with these running backs, like, I mean, Xavier Gayton is okay, but I like the young running backs, J.J. Hill and Cooper Crosby. I can see Crosby making a quicker impact because he can kind of be the change of pace. J.J. Hill is more that thumper. So he may not become as valuable until if say a fluff ball wheel gets nicked up, banged up. So that's the guy you can use. I guess kind of checked out, but we can just make up for it. All right. So the thing is, you got them guys at the running back position. So that's the thing. I'm kind of like excited about that. So it's like having Camario is going to open up so many things for a lot of people. So I think that's the thing with the offense, having all these new guys in there. If the offense line give them time, he's gonna be able to get deep with them receivers. Then all these young running backs are gonna take the load off of them. So
but I know this kind of a little bit off subject, but while we're talking about it, I might as well gonna hit it up just a little point. I mean, if our line can improve just a little bit better, open them a little bit of hole, man, I'm expecting Fluff Bothwell to be the offense. I know you big on Camario, but man, hey, we got to pound that rock, man. And then these younger guys, they could be a little bit changed back. I'm hoping these young guys get in when the score is being ran up. You know what I mean? Give them some playing time when the score being ran up. But I just go back to that offensive line, man. It's just purely laziness. That's what I saw out of them last year.
Yeah,
purely laziness.
It's one of the things you say with Chris Carter said some years ago. It's like, man, you don't get no new coach or new this. Fine, this is one of them situations you get new players. We need new players. Like you just gotta get new people. You just got to.
Yes.
So
got to.
It's like the offensive line just wasn't hitting it last year. So it's kind of like you got to go get new players, and then you see that's the good part of the transfer portal now. You can remake your team on the fly. It used to be you couldn't do that. Now you're like, okay, these guys weren't performing. Now it's time to go get somebody else. And I think that's the thing we have to kind of like look at. Is that that's going to really help. But we're going to, one of the things, and I'll say this at the end of the episode, we're going to talk about the overall offense next week. We can get into Camario and what do we expect from because our offense didn't suck last year. It was pretty good. But the problem is, can it be better? Because the beat and that I ain't going to call it a murderer's row. You got Alabama, you got LSU, you got A&M, Texas, all them back to back. To beat those teams, you're going to need an explosive offense. You're going to need an explosive offense. So, but our offense for it to really be explosive, and that's when some of these other guys come into play, What can you do in the red zone? And can you do anything other than hand it off a fluff ball well or throw it deep?
Right.
Can you do one of the
or quarterback dive? You know what I'm saying? Gotta come up with something else. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the thing there. You gotta like come up, like you said, come with something a little different so we can make that impact there.
Right.
All right. So now let's move on to the defense. So this actually, there were a lot more impact guys. Arnett, they got Arnett some pieces to work with. I'll say that much. They got him some pieces to work with. So I kind of lead this one off as far as talking about with defense. Okay. I really like what we've done on the defensive side of the football. Right. Now, our defense was pretty putrid last year. So the thing I have to wonder about is, like, of course, who's going to make that impact? But the guys we kind of talked about him last week, Amari Williams. I was looking at some of that kid's highlights, and the best I could do is go look at his high school stuff. I see what kind of happened at Florida State. He was talented. I mean, in high school, he was splitting out wide, catching deep passes, running past heads. He was lining up the D-line or that jack linebacker position like he's playing at State, going to get the quarterback. I can see why they played him both ways. It's a rare instance where a guy is like a jack linebacker and like a guy that can play tight end. Most times it's like receiver, corner, or something like that. But I think when you're transitioning to the college level, it ain't like in high school where, okay, I'm 6'4", 230, and I could just go. Yeah. I'm just better than everybody. I'm more talented. It's high school. You get to the college, technique matters. Maybe the coaches is making them think too much. That don't mean he isn't smart. Sometimes some guys play better when you just can let them do their thing. So I'm looking at his stuff, man. This is not overhyped. This is not the maroon colored glasses, as some like to call it, or the bloodline, maroon bloodline. For our theme song, this is a first round top 10 caliber talent. Right. Now, will he do that? We don't know that yet. Like, he hasn't shown it at the college level. But when I look at that this is a 4-star guy. He went to Florida State first. This is a first round guy. If he does everything we hope he can do this year, he's probably only going to be here 1 year. But if he's only here for 1 year, then we're probably talking about a guy that can potentially help our team win a lot of football games this year. He's equalizer talent, as I like to call him. But I really like his overall talent because he's already starting. Like some of the other transfers are backing up. He's already starting. So it must mean, and he's ahead of some guys that played well last year. I really like our linebacking core. Truth be told, I think we really got the setup for a 3-4 defense as far as at the linebacker position. There's just so many players. I'm like, in the size and things, I think we could run a 3-4 if we wanted to. I don't know if Arnett is versatile enough to kind of shift and do that in certain sets, but the talent is there. So I'm really excited about that. But then just sticking with the transfer, Dalen Evans, I didn't really pay attention to much at first. Going back and looking at some of his stuff, he got to get off. Like he got the talent level for a defensive tackle to see at a high level in the SEC. But even when I looked at some of his highlights and stuff, things like that, his technique wasn't there. And I would bet that's probably like, you got to get off, but then all they got to do is get their hands on you. You like, what are you going to do? So it's kind of like, I think that's probably what's hampering him. But again, Arnett may be a good match. Arnett might just turn him loose. You know, some of these guys, you're making them do too much. And then all the corners, I mean, all the other guys, Jordan Gilbert, Marcus Williams, Quentin Taylor, all those guys are step in as starters. Right. So you're looking at guys that solidify that position when we got an Isaac Smith, when we got a Kelley Jones. So we got the pieces that we can find. So for example, you get Dalen Evans and you get Will Whitson to stay healthy. Right. You might start talking about something. That's how I look at that. Right. Man, even not the true first. Go ahead. Yeah, and up front is where we need the most help. And if you can remember correctly, you can't have enough linebackers in Zach Arnett's offense, because you just think about this. Titus Wheat, whatever his name was, Tyler Wheat, whatever his name was. He plays for the Cowboys. Remember, he was a linebacker at one point, and he stepped on. He's a D lineman now. You know what I'm saying? So, and they use him in that way, and you got to have a lot of, because you know how Arnett blitz. He gonna bring that. He gonna blitz. He gonna blitz you. Blitz, baby, blitz. He gonna bring it. You know what I mean? Every time, and that's what I like about it. And I'm amped. Only if we can just plug those three linemen in and be able to, get off the ball.
be able to get some kind of push up the middle. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what we lacked last year. You know, if I went back and looked at some of the games, man, them guys were standing straight up looking. You know, you can't play defense standing up and look, especially on the front line. Your job is to, you know, to get the line and engage so you can get the linebackers up front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I say that wasn't the Mississippi State defense last year.
No.
And even kind of sticking to, like, you get a Michael Nickerson. I think those guys are going to be different types of jack linebackers than a Tyrus. Tyrus was a little lower to the ground. These guys are like Amari Williams can play in space. You know, he's a guy that was running stuff back for 50-some yards. Like, he was that type of guy. So and then you have Michael Nickerson. I don't know if he plays this year because there's a lot of guys in front of him, but packages.
Yeah, but like, and then, you know, one thing about it is, you think about it, with Arnett, he brought all his defensive coaches back, and he brought some of the players that actually played at State in his system. What's the guy name? I can't remember that guy's name, but I know he's one of the coaches on the team.
Oh, Matt Brock.
And, Matt Brock. Not Matt Brock. The other guy. I seen him in. He was recruiting one day. He had a recruit with him. Oh man, what's the guy's name? I can't think of his name. I'm gonna come back to him. Man. He sat and ate dinner with us, me and my daughter. What was that guy's name?
Well, I know we got like Errol Thompson and
the white guy.
Oh my God, Jet Johnson.
Yeah, I know.
Jet Johnson. That's probably
Jet Johnson. That's it. Jet Johnson. That's who I'm thinking of. And you know, they have played it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about Arnett came back. He brought his guys with him. You know, they're gonna be able to train it. You got a head coach on defense, and that right there got me hyped about the defense right now. It got me hyped.
Yeah, like I like, and then there's these other some of these guys. I don't know about Tico Crittenden and Chris Addison, but a player, Braylon Womack, he's already listed in the 2 deep before the hour last, and then Kamario little brother. Like, I mean, when I first looked at some of his highlights, even last year, I was kind of like, you know, our star quarterback's little brother. You know, this is one of those things. But kind of started thinking about it. I was like, man, I don't know.
I mean, I think they're gonna use him more as a receiver, though.
Well, I think they have him as an athlete. Like when I looked at a lot of his highlights, I think he's a safety. I think that's where he's gonna make his money at. He's definitely gonna be a special teams guy. Yeah. And I'll talk more about that, like as far as what the 5 for 5 is gonna really help you with. You know, as far as, you know, before, you know, freshmen with red shirt, if they weren't gonna start, you know, you don't want to burn their years of eligibility. But now you ain't really gotta do all that. Yeah, you can play him, get him on special teams, get him some experience, things like that. So I wouldn't. He's a sleeper. I think he's a traditional free safety. But you got Braylon Womack in that position. But like, I think you're a guy. I would keep my eye on him. If somebody was to get hurt later in the season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna switch out with Isaac Smith a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because this Isaac Smith last year, man. You got to get the guy on the field and see what he's about, man. See, can he bring that 5-star talent up to Starkville, man?
Yeah. Move your stuff up. All right. So, yeah, like, I feel pretty good overall about the defense. You know, I'm an Arnett guy to the core. That's the one thing. Losing him as a coach, you know, you lose him as the actual head coach. You lost him as a D coordinator. And it's just very rare you have coaches come back that are still young. I want to say Arnett's not even outside of 30 yet. I think he's younger than both of us. So that's the thing.
You know my position on that. But, hey, that's for a topic for another day, I guess. You don't want me to go on that rant tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, they got them some pieces. I'm more excited about what we got coming in on defense than offense. But the thing is, you got Kamario Taylor returning on offense, and I think that's the thing that's going to really help us. I think people need to temper their enthusiasm a little bit. Like, man, give them a little time to breathe and earn it on the field. Like, we want to see, of course, of a full season.
You too hyped on this guy, man. Look.
Man, you need to watch all the TikToks. It's kind of hard not to. They literally got TikToks called Kamario Taylor Glaze. I'm like, man, I have never seen this before.
Pump the brakes. That's all I'm gonna tell folks. Just pump the brakes, man.
Let's wait for him. I mean, them first 4 games will be very telling, but even if he plays well, I'm like, man, you got a murderer's row for the next 4 games after that. You got some games. I mean, those teams can end up not being as good, but we're gonna know how good he is then.
In a given Saturday, man. In a given Saturday, man, you can be beat in the SEC. We know that. Yeah, you can be beat. You can be beat. Everybody can be beat.
All right, guys. So here's the thing. we're gonna move on to. All right, not the 5 for 5 messed up there. I ain't gonna do that. Let's do. Oh crap! I'm gonna do that. Okay, so some of the rule changes. So my friend Reggie got caught up at work, so we can just go over some of the rule changes ourselves, and then what we can do, we can whether we pause really quick and we still can come in. Maybe we can do the segment either another day or sometime this week. I still want people to you can explain the rules and things like that. Well, some of these are ticky tack, but at the same time, there's no the rules. Like, man, what's up? Doing like, what? Man, I didn't know that was no. So we can go over. So we got targeting penalties or non-progressive. So to keep it simple. Now, instead of, your star player hitting somebody and being out for the rest of that game and the next game or the half of the next game, I think it's like, let's say, no longer automatic first half suspension the next game. And then the next offense, so it's for dudes, the Draymond Greens type of
the repeated offenders.
Yeah, but a dude like a star player, you ain't finna lose your star player for the national championship game because he had one bad hit. Right. All right, fair catch kicks are now allowed. So after a fair catch is completed or awarded, the kicking team may attempt an uncontested field goal from that spot, which I don't get where.
You say what?
They said like you can attempt the field goal from that spot. That's kind of an odd rule. I don't even see the purpose of it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it'll come in handy at some point. Now, here's another critical one. Offensive pass interference drops 10 yards. Like we're in high school, one thing, coaches like if you get beat, man, you better off just hitting them and you only getting 10 yards. In the NFL is definitely it's to the spot of the foul, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, but in college, to reduce it from 15 to 10 yards, like strategically, man, it'd be smart. Like you might see a few more guys doing it because it's only 10 yards. Simpler coaches get to challenge more replays. And instead of one, I think it's 2 now. And then celebration is being modernized. I'm like, the same way, we joking about these kids last week and things like that. You're actually putting it now with unless they're doing something crazy. I mean, let these kids be kids. That's how they're gonna act. Asthma. I never got why people were so against that anyway. We're not in 1960. I mean, I know Barry Sanders handed off the ball to people. That don't mean everybody else got to do that.
Well, you know what they did? They did a lot. It's more aligned with the celebration and more aligned with the NFL. They did away with the gun and the white nose and the throat slashing last year, man. So they just got to come up with something new, man. Be creative, All
right. So, like I said, we can still have Reggie come on and kind of explain some of the rules. Yeah. And imperative. So, I think so we all have day jobs. I'm about to go back to mine very soon. So I even told the VARs, I was like, man, I'm gonna try to catch it before he actually has an actual get back to work, have an episode before this so we can get some content. Because I know once he got back to real work, the game's gonna change a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna come with before we even start with the topic about 5 for 5. I'm gonna show this graphic. So now it's crazy. Now you got to look at the actual financial stuff when it comes to players now because you essentially have salary caps at the NCAA level. But you got to start looking before we get to 5 for 5. I didn't put first round picks because your first round pick probably go. So it seems tacky, but I'm putting 2nd through 7. Well, if you look at it here, like this is around the range of what those guys are actually making per year. So this is probably their market value. Well, if you get a guy, really, if he's a 5th round guy, they're probably pretty good. So you got to start looking. If you're talking about 5 for 5, and a guy has to think, do I want to go to the NFL and make, say, like I'm Brendan Thompson? He probably been a candidate to make $1.19 million. So say if you're a college team, I'm going to give you 1.25. I'm going to give you 1.25 or some commensurate to that. And here's the thing, that money is guaranteed.
Yeah.
NFL is not.
Yeah.
So if you're a 7th round guy and they offer you even that, why would you not stay? Even they offer you less than that.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not stay? So that's why I kind of want to show this graphic so people kind of understand where I'm coming from with the 5 for 5. People have to start being strategic with it now. Yeah. So I think it's going to have a huge impact for NC State and really for a lot of college teams. All right, so let's get to overall 5 for 5. And I kind of wanted to show a graphic of some of the guys from Mississippi State can really benefit from this. So as you look at it, I think the one thing I really first to start with, you only potentially can lose one starter. Potentially. I mean, if guys have great seasons, maybe, but potentially 2 more years for some of these key players. So essentially, you're in a situation where potentially your whole starting receiving core, unless some other guys beat them out, could come back. Really, all your receivers. For a team with Kamario Taylor at quarterback, you can bring back all your receivers. So that could be incredibly impactful. Defensively, that may look a little different, but here's the thing: defensively, we still lacking a little bit anyway. So it's a trip losing some of these guys. But the players I would watch would be Zachary Tillman. I don't even know if he's projected to be drafted right now, if I'm not mistaken. And Ozzie Smith. I'm not even counting Kelley Jones. I'm shocked he came back this year. I think he's gone. He's projected, I think, top 10, 15 this year. So that's a wrap. But like I would tell him bye.
But
exactly. But if you look at it, Isaac Smith is an interesting name. I think he's a guy that's going to get drafted, obviously. But is he going to be a first or second round guy? That's the question you got to ask yourself. So is he going to be a first or second round guy? So if he's not, do you pay him that money to come back and solidify that backfield? So it's like you have to really think about it. Like we're going to lose a little bit more on defense, but like I said, Amari Williams is a talent. If he has a great year, he might do it. And then Zachary Tillman, this guy's our starting middle linebacker, and he's a guy that I think could, I don't know, he could come back because he's a guy that's a stable starter. So it's looking like it affects, I feel, the offense more. But at the same time, like on defense, we got a couple guys that can come back. And so, and one of the main things I kind of think about as well is with the 5 for 5, before you wouldn't play freshmen. Now you can load up your special teams.
Right.
So your kickoff team, people move it up a little bit now so they don't do it as much. Your punt team, those type of teams, you can load those guys up with freshmen, walk-ons, whatever. And of course, you want to put a couple talented, starters on there, but you can kind of keep your guys fresh. So that can help with a Mississippi State because we don't have as much talent as everybody else right now, unless somebody emerges, things like that. Now, the one thing, like I tell people now, as far as for college football, it's not like before where Alabama was beating people because they were like, I would say, everybody says it's your 22 against my 22. That ain't what it was when you're playing the Alabamas of the world. They 44 was going against your, well, in their case, sometimes they 66 were so like you're 22. And I think that's what people had to get. Like those teams were dominant. And Nick Saban probably got out of there because they had two deeps they could rotate with.
Right.
And they had guys that finished the game, but after a while, if they were having that going on, they just don't. Alabama normally didn't run off on people to the third quarter.
Nope.
Because
they clean on you.
They're more physical than you. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, the perfect example is Jacobs, man. The Joker was a backup. Joker was never a starter at Alabama. Think about that. Never a starter at Alabama. And first round draft pick. Wow. Crazy. Crazy.
I know I'm on a Mississippi State podcast, but I'm kind of a Nick Saban stan. So the thing is, Saban, it was very smart. The thing people don't get, like Nick Saban, what made him a great coach is that he ain't outsmart himself.
Yeah.
Like he get those guys like that. He ain't going there trying to make them run those songs. He ain't do none of that. He brought those guys in. He said, we ain't no developmental program. You come in, you go get it. Like we gonna pull you from the national championship game. We're not winning.
Right. Exactly.
He don't do that. But the thing is, he brought in talent. He didn't make them overthink. Everybody got a chance to play. You came in ready to go. You ready to go. But what I respect about him is he adjusted when he needed to. When he got his tail whipped by Johnny Manziel, he's like, hey, I got to switch my defense up a little bit. Because I know one of my friends, he told me a story from when Saban first came there. And they were going to be running a 3-4. And he was getting recruited by Saban. And I ain't going to say the name, but like he said he went into Coach Saban's office when he came on his visit. And they had a rubric. You have to be this side to play this position. I think safeties have to be 6'2", 215, 205. This coming in. Corners have to be this size. D linemen have to be this size. He told this guy, he said, you are not going to play here. You are too little. And why that's important, he went by a rubric and he did recruit players because sometimes he would recruit 3 stars. He didn't care about that. He recruited players. He didn't gather talent. as Lee Corso would say. And Alabama could kind of like build a strong roster just over the years because he didn't try to outsmart himself. I honestly think his best friend, as far as I know, his best friend Bill Belichick kind of does that a little bit, but he's not trying to outsmart himself.
Right.
When he realized he had to get up out of there, this ain't for him no more. This ain't his game no more.
Yeah.
I think he realized that this ain't for me. So he got up out of there. So I think that's what people have to kind of look at with Nick Saban and how he kind of did things. But like I said, now you kind of got to build your roster a little bit different.
Yeah, right.
How do you overall think 5 for 5 is going to impact Mississippi State?
Well, I don't think it's going to impact us too much because, you know, we get guys here. We like, hey, I'm going to come to Mississippi State for a year and I'm going to see what I can do. If I'm good enough, I'm going to go somewhere else, right? Anyway, that's the way we're going to go anyway, the way you look at it. It's more for those guys like your Indianas in the world, right? The guys that – because right now the problem is you got grown men playing college football. Grown men playing college
Indiana
football.
had 26-year-olds, right?
Yeah, the COVID year – you know what I'm saying? And people is taking advantage of that. And then you got the guys that went to JUCO, right? JUCO route. Now, you know, your JUCO don't count against you. I think they're bringing it back here soon. But, you know, that's the way to get these guys off the field, man, because they need to be in the NFL. They shouldn't be out here. I know it's a money grab staying, right? Mm-hmm. I can come here and play and make more than what I'm going to make at Mississippi State than I would at being on a practice squad at the freaking Dallas Cowboys or the Saints, you know. So I think the overall impact for us is we're not gonna feel it as much, right? It's more of those bigger programs and guys are coming in from the JUCO level. It's making them having to make a decision earlier. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think too. I think it's gonna prevent you don't see these stories about guys just because of how you'll see folks who be on some kind of like touch and go situation when they're 4 or 5 years, but then you got them guys who've been in college football for 9-10 years. Right. Guys that started in 2017 just because they got hurt or something like that. Right. Like I don't think it bro. Some of these folks be having kids and families.
Exactly. Go and get your old self out of here, man. You out here playing. You know what I'm saying? What it look like 26, 27. Man, you're supposed to be already 4 years deep in the NFL, but you in the college game? Come on, man. Let's get serious.
Seeing hairline like they played in the NBA in the 80s or something.
Exactly. Exactly.
You're the right set of the most bald-headed grown men you ever seen in their life. LeBron.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you got all these 20-year-olds with bald heads, but not LeBron's.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I just don't see it affecting State that much yet.
Yeah. But it's something to think about. I'm sure coaches gonna have to adjust to that. I would say one thing where it definitely can help you. So I remember you were talking last year, and one of the things I was worried about is that we're gonna have a sophomore starting quarterback. I know it's kind of hard now with guys. It used to when he mattered, you can have a guy like that. You bring him in, and you have other guys that were, maybe back him up. And then the freshmen coming in could red shirt. I look at Camario as a 3-year guy anyway. I mean, maybe he hadn't shown that he for sure is that. I definitely don't think he'll be in college for 4 years or 5, but I think he's a 3-year guy. The thing is, when you bring in that freshman now, so say like Colorado had Juju, forgot his name, Juju Lewis, and you got a guy like that. Right. You bring him in, you ain't got to worry about red shirting him. You can get that guy ready. So instead of them being a red shirt, be like, nah, I'm just gonna chill. No, you can get that guy ready. And I think that's the thing now. Like, you ain't got to worry about the stagger because, truth be told, it's kind of two things. So, say if you got a guy started as a freshman, they may be decent. The Will Rogers type guys, a freshman coming in, shoot, go ahead and play them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let them compete, whatever. But if you got a Mario, you got a capable backup, and you ain't got to worry about. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is me. I think I heard this over the news when this first came out. This is really wasn't meant. To be honest, this wasn't really meant for football, if you really think about it, right? What is going away now? The minor leagues in baseball.
Oh, they don't have the minor leagues anymore?
They're getting ready to get, from what I hear, they're getting ready to get rid of the minor leagues because kids are coming to college right? Like you don't have the support.
Oh, because they can get paid now.
They can get paid now in college. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna stick a first round draft pick in the minor leagues until I'm ready for him or he's ready to get called up. You know, now they have to be, you know, they ready in college because they're getting paid now. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more effective because it started to mess with the professional ranks as much. Because you think about it, how many people got drafted this year in baseball that said, "Nah, I'm just gonna go to college because I'm gonna make more money in college than I would in the minor leagues."
I'm looking at it here. It said Major League Baseball is not getting rid of the minor leagues, but it is drastically restructured and downsized the system.
Exactly.
Same
See
thing.
there? Yeah, it's hurting the minor leagues. At the end of the day, they ain't gonna have the minor league too much longer, man. If college baseball gonna keep going on the trajectory that it's going in.
Yeah, because it used to be like playing baseball. Like one of our classmates actually went to Mississippi State. Like getting a full scholarship was a thing. Even with track, that was a big deal. Getting a full scholarship. So now college is like everybody can complain that football, you know, does this and people pay too much attention, but football is driving that. You can pay those guys now, and they ain't got to worry about like kind of scraping hand and foot, you know, to be in college because a lot of them guys don't always be on full scholarships. Now that's the case. I mean, I've heard of like it's D2 and D3 players that get paid. So it's like it's completely changed the game. And I know when it first happened and everybody was like, oh man, they get a college scholarship and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. If you go to like Miami, like my cousin went to Miami and their education was like 10,000-20,000 a year or something like that.
Shoot, my stepson right now been Washington State almost paying $10,000, bro.
So that's a little different if you want to make an argument at a school like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mississippi State, like when I went there, it was like maybe 5,000 the room and board. I don't even think it was that much. I'm trying to think of the exact amount, but like it was like that. So it's kind of like folks gotta like stop tripping off of that. But like the thing is, look how much say Dak Prescott. I'm literally wearing. I bought this jersey 10 years ago, and that's the last quarterback we had. I probably would actually wore his jersey. So it's kind of like, so I mean, these guys, the money that they make for these programs. Johnny Manziel, you can talk about how he built A&M and what they are now. Lamar Jackson, these guys, Jameis Winston at Florida State, even though Florida State was already Florida State. Yeah, like could you imagine? I always tell people, could you imagine what the Fab Five would have made if like they had the NIL in their era?
Right.
I mean, that's what destroyed their team in the first place. They lost all their teams because of that. I think they got it back, but at the same time, like that's the thing people have to look at. Like this NIL, I think is a little excessive. I think the main thing I think people need to curtail is this transfer portal stuff.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, they done cut the transfer portal down to
well, you can't transfer in the spring anymore.
Yeah, you can't do that again after spring practice. Nope.
But I think that's because that boy from Tennessee pulled that foolishness. But at the same time, like I think easily, unless they're extenuating circumstances like it used to be, I think you should only be able to transfer once.
Right.
I think they would slow all of it down.
Yeah.
So say like some of these guys that we got who were freshmen who maybe picked the wrong school, it happens. But sometimes guys stick it out and you just get stuck there, or they redshirt you. But people don't get it. Like I had a relative that went through that. When they redshirt you, or something like that, you might as well not even transfer.
But you know their argument behind that, right?
What?
The coaches get a chance to leave whenever they want to.
Yeah.
For a bigger and better situation. Why can't I do the same thing?
But there ain't many coaches that's gonna just leave that many times.
We all get paid now. We all getting paid now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they getting paid just like I'm getting paid.
We still trying to operate like they student athletes. So people don't realize you transfer to different universities, you ain't getting the same credits. Right. I do think it's messing up roster building. I mean, I ain't caping for the coaches on that tilt, but I do think it's a little ridiculous. Like even as a fan, it's harder as a fan to keep up. Even in the NFL, you got contracts.
Yeah.
I think what you're gonna probably start seeing too is those guys that are. But it's so dangerous. Even coaches probably don't, because college players, you don't know if them guys gonna pan out. I mean, you don't know if NFL guys gonna pan out. Like, Michigan giving Bryce Underwood a 3-year contract, and like it's not good for both sides. What if somebody change coaches or the system don't fit you? Bryce Underwood, he lost his coach because of stuff. And like, if he not that good, you done locked yourself in for 3 years on a high school player.
Yeah.
I mean, we got one right now, one of our transfer who ain't one of our impact transfer because he's third string, but Jaden Rashada, They had him. He ended up, I don't know, the team reneged on a $13 million deal for a guy that's third string for Mississippi State who won 5 games last year. That's not. I'm not dissing him. Whatever. He may turn out to be somebody that can help us this year. Mario get hurt, or we need him in a specific situation. But at the same time, like that's the stuff that's bothersome.
Yeah.
That you got these guys who like getting paid and like they're not earning it. Like
every year.
Like NFL, you know, they at least produce at the college level, whether they play at the lower division, higher division, whatever. But you got these high school dudes that playing against me and you. So like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They playing against us. Us got 5'9" cornerbacks running 4.6s, and then you're like, oh man, this dude a beast. Like, come on. Yeah. So it's like, you know, like so I can see where coaches are like, man, and I think some of the college coaches are getting aggravated. I think what was his name? Marcus Freeman said that he ends a lot of his recruiting calls like, I'm gonna put you in contact with a accountant. I can imagine that. I can see myself starting getting annoyed by that. Did you read? All right. So just to kind of set up for next week, guys, we've been enjoying this week. So I mean, we know we're just coming up with topics, just being real right now as we get ready for the season. But I kind of spaced it out a little bit, and I'm trying to reach out to have some interviews as well with some guys. Right. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks. We're gonna start having season previews, offensive, defensive, and then finally we'll get before the season the episode before I'm gonna say the what they call it, the penultimate whatever episode of every season before we start the season, where we'll do our official prediction.
Yeah,
and talk about what we think the team's gonna do.
Yeah. All right.
And then just moving forward, y'all that are listening, we're looking forward to once Dawgs get used to his work schedule, we can give you previews, we can give you game reactions the next day because we're probably gonna lose our mind. Get like me and this the superstar freshman quarterback like I did about it's a long time ago, 16 years ago. Hey, we got a little time, so maybe we could just throw this little story. I don't want to rage bait the Mississippi State fan. So tell me, what were you thinking all those years ago? We're going to take out a little story time. 2010, circa 2010, after the Auburn game, I had a very, I ain't going to call it famous, very infamous rant on social media dissing Tyler Russell, saying that you can call it. And mind you, I'm a teacher now, y'all. So I would never say this type of stuff again or any of my students. I always tell, don't let anybody ever tell you anything like that, but I said it then. I said that Tyler Russell was never going to be a great quarterback. Now, there was a lot of things behind that people didn't know. There was a lot of reasons I said that because I had inside information from a lot of people who told me a lot of intangible reasons why he wouldn't be great. He turned out not to be great, be clear. But, like, at the same time, it was not the right thing to say. So, tell me, what were you thinking, Dawgs, when you saw that post on social media?
Oh, man. Bro, you done went back in the archive, man. I
thought it'd be a good look. We got a little time. I was like, I thought at some point to bring it up, but take people behind the scenes to one of the more infamous statements in Jay Short's career.
Man, shoot, I gotta try to remember, man. Man, but he was so never mind. I don't like to speak negative on my team, man. Yeah, I'm gonna pad the book, man.
Well, I can tell y'all, like, just from my end. I remember I was telling somebody about it I think I was telling my aunt about it the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like us, we had nicknames growing up. And I know Dawgs called me. He was like, man, Mooch, you gotta take that down, man. So you know what I'm saying? So the folks probably see us having a podcast. We're gonna come a long way, y'all, because we're very much growing up, and our brothers were like best friends growing up. So it's like, we come a long way, but that was one of the things he kind of called me and was like, man, no, that ain't it. Like I said, and I told one of our other friends who played at Mississippi State, like, it ain't like I was wrong. I wasn't wrong. I never believed that part of it, but you don't say no mess like that. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question for you. Since we got a little time to just chat about everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your most memorable Mississippi State game?
I actually saw
win or loss now. Win or loss. Most memorable. Win or loss.
I ain't never lost. I know. I just saw somebody. One of them groups or thing Mississippi State thing posted the other day when Derek McGee's. I actually had a class with him at the same time. Derek McGee's returned that punt against Ole Miss. Coach 0-8 that year when he did something. Coach O did something stupid. He punted that ball to Derek McGee. When he punted to him, I was like, he about to return it. You could just feel the momentum in the air. He returned that thing, and like, man, just the electricity in the air, man. I couldn't. I mean, we weren't very good. And like one of our friends, Desmond, obviously played at State. And I remember telling Desmond, this is how big it was to me. I was like, bro, I just want one winning season before I leave Mississippi State. And mind you, I spent an extra year. I really shouldn't experience it, but I did it on time. But I was a person that experienced the main game. I've been to some of the worst games in Mississippi State history. I was at Maine. I remember when I worked for the Commercial Dispatch coming out of college. The one game I got out for it because I had to work on Saturdays. I could never go to none of the games. I technically still was a student. Well, I had to do an internship. I got out for the Auburn game in 2008, and it was like 3-2.
No, man.
And then I went to the other one. Me and you went to this one.
Arkansas. Oh no, don't steal mine. Don't steal mine.
That was the we won it. I think the road trip from where, y'all. I don't think y'all get the pain of rolling into Arkansas 3-4 in the morning, not realizing it was homecoming. And
you didn't steal
mine. Gave away your hotel room.
Hey, go ahead. Tell them that story.
And we got the what do we go to
the Motel 6?
Y'all.
Hey, my most memorable is 4th and 1. That was my greatest one, man. When he, you can feel the energy. What is Mullen doing? Fire Mullen. He's so stupid because they were playing the backup most of the game, man. But a lot of people in the crowd, I truly believe they didn't know he was hurt, man. In that game, man. But it was a Thanksgiving game. People were drunk, man. But man, when that came in and led us back, man, that's my most memorable, man, Mississippi State game. My favorite, hands down. Maybe. And then the one we took to A&M was a close second to that one, man. That was classic, man.
So I'm going to give you a little inside info because I was more on my sports writer bag. I know I was talking to one of the players, and we were talking about the whole Dak coming in against Ole Miss, and it's like one of the most heroic moments in Mississippi State history.
Yeah.
Coming off an injury, I want to say that was the same time period his mom had passed away too.
No, she passed away in the A&M game. So a couple.
I'm saying, was it like that year? Was it next year?
Yeah, it was that same year. It was the same year.
Yeah, I was saying it was in that time period, I think. Yeah, I was talking to one of the players on Facebook. He told me Dak wasn't really hurt. Like they did that on purpose. Like he told me straight up. Like so. That's something most people don't know, but like he had told me at the time, he was like, "Man, Dak wasn't really like he kind of, I think, technically was hurt, but they kind of like saved him." So I think he didn't play the week before, if I'm not mistaken, that year. That I think it was like Arkansas or something. Because we normally play like Arkansas next to last, and then because it's always been a toss-up game. Then we had Ole Miss. So yeah, if I understand, he really wasn't as hurt as we thought he was. It was kind of like a surprise type thing. So that much I do know. So that when you brought that up, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was this particular player was telling me about this. But
and then I got two of this recent years of my two worst experiences, man. Me and you were together on one of them. We went down to Death Valley.
Oh yeah, I was like mad stuff. You were like, shut up, Moot.
We was just laughing at them. We had went up 17. We was up in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you couldn't hear nobody in that stadium. They had done got quiet. You could hear me from the rooftop where we were standing at, yelling throughout that whole stadium. And then it just like Leach just forgot what he was doing. And when that guy missed that doggone muff that punt, I just knew it was going to go downhill from there. And it went downhill. Hey, it's like State, I done seen this all before. Don't get excited until it's over. And then this past season,
Texas
has to be the worst game ever. I was over there. Everybody knows I was in Texas. I was working for a company called HEB. right? So a lot of my friends, when we play a Texas team, some of my friends it was Longhorn, some of my friends was Aggies. So I flew out to A&M. Of course, we lost in our first loss. You know what I'm saying? Talking big junk out there too. But then, right, when we played Texas, man, we was up 17 points with 12 minutes to go. And when they Boot ran that long touchdown, I said, dagger. And all my friends from Texas that was here, they got up, man. I'm finna go smoke a cigarette, man. I can't believe we lost to Mississippi State. I can't believe we lost to Mississippi. I was like, dagger. All we got to do is just run the ball and it's over. Right? I said, Archie, whatever his name, Manning, he was freaking just pathetic. We were blitzing up everything. And then that 4th and long happened. When that guy hit Manning for no reason on 4th and long, all you have to do is just let him go. He was already through for that whole game. And boy, I just felt that freaking LSU cloud just come over my head like this. I was like, oh no, it's about to happen. No, it's about to happen. I was like, let me just run the ball, man. Please, whatever you just run the ball.
Because you're saying Ohio Alabama fans watch games like, man, just run the ball.
just run the ball, coach. It's about to happen. But yeah, that's my two my good and my my two good and my two bad memories of Mississippi State, being a Mississippi State fan right now in the recent years. I got some when I was brokenhearted as a kid, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I want a Mississippi State fan my whole life. I was a Nebraska fan early in my life. Really, I still remember my older brother coming back from Blockbuster. Mm-hmm. Like y'all kids listening, Blockbuster was a place that people went to go get movies and rented them on a VHS.
Yeah. But man, that's all for tonight, man. For me, man, nice chopping up with y'all again. Once again, hope to see y'all again next week. Come back, tune in.
Yeah, so more stories next week. We had a little time, so we got to talking about stories and road trips. We had a couple more road trips that we've gone on through the years, so we'll have plenty. Like we don't want to talk about the Arkansas one again.
God,
we're gonna leave where it's at. Arkansas one, we're just gonna where it's at. Cause that was a road trip from where. That was interesting. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for listening. Looking forward to the next episode. We're gonna kind of get into some previews of the team and really just kind of have some breakdowns. And hopefully over the next couple of okay. We got a couple of streams. People said just lurking. We'll be joining the next stream with some homies. Okay, whatever that's supposed to be. learning I guess the streaming game. So guys, I wanted to bring a little different. All right, y'all. We just cut out now. Looking forward to bringing it next week. I'm gonna let the bars be an old person get to sleep. All right, y'all. Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Every touchdown got the whole state celebrating. Win or lose, we still stand 10 toes. Loyal to the Maroon wherever